I've always maintained that Boris Karloff was a great actor. However, he was always typecast as these mute brutes. It's almost as if he was so good as the Frankenstein monster that that's just all people wanted him to be. Like, even James Whale, who directed him in Frankenstein, cast him as a mute brute in the severely underrated The Old Dark House. I've also maintained that Boris Karloff, when given the right role, can be a fantastic actor, and even a fantastic talker. Case in point, The Body Snatcher from 1945. Directed by Robert Wise, one of the more underrated and versatile directors of all time. It tells the story of a doctor and his apprentice who want to make strides in their medical practices. However, they desire live bodies, or at least recently dead bodies, to practice on. So they get a body snatcher named Gray, played by Karloff. Gray is, well, a ghost from the past of the doctor, and holds his past over the doctor's head consistently. Karloff really does make this movie. I mean, there's no getting around it. Every scene that he is in is automatically upgraded by his presence. The best way to describe him in this movie is kind of a troll. He always shows up, he always has a smart aleck comment to make, and he always does the thing that the doctor just does not want him to do. He calls him Toddy. Oh, good old Toddy. And the doctor gets so offended by being called Toddy that Karloff just keeps going and going and going. So the doctor basically fed the troll, and now he'll never go away. What's funny about the movie, though, is that there's actually not a ton of body snatching going on. There is some, and I won't say where because I fear it might be a spoiler. However, when you consider that it's a movie called The Body Snatcher, it's more hinted at than actually shown. And I like that. I like the spirit of that. I think the dynamic between Gray and the Doctor is very similar to a very underrated movie from 2015 called The Gift, starring Jason Bateman and Joel Edgerton. Edgerton is, well, a specter from Bateman's past, and it starts out friendly, but by the end, oh boy, it gets real bad. Real bad. This movie was made by RKO Radio Pictures, who was probably best known for producing Citizen Kane, whether Orson Welles liked it or not. The producer of the movie, Val Lewton, was basically given titles from the studio, saying, here's a title, here's The Cat People, go to town. And Lewton was like, okay, gotta make this work. However, The Body Snatcher was based on the book written by Robert Louis Stevenson. And that's why Karloff wanted to do this movie in the first place. Number one, he wanted any excuse he could to get out of Universal, because he felt that the monster movies had become severely played out. And, well, considering the diminishing returns on each of the Universal monster movies, he may have been onto something. And at the end of the day, the reason to watch this movie is Boris Karloff. You can just feel him stretching his creative muscles and just sinking his teeth into this role. He feels like he's genuinely having fun playing this horrible person. If you're a fan of Karloff, a fan of Robert Wise, or a fan of, well, I guess body snatching movies, then this is right up your alley.